A lot of people are confused by statements that men of God make today. A lot of statements are coming out. I watched this video on TikTok, and then I woke up in the morning. One of my friends, sent me a message. Hey, can you check this video out? I think it is a false teaching. Now, what is that false teaching? The false teaching is Abel Damina said, God is not in heaven. All right, God is not in heaven. Now it tries to prove, and here is the video where it tries to prove that God is not in heaven, and you will be the one to judge whether his analogy, is right or not.
Listen, God does not live in heaven. Seller. God does not live in heaven. So that's why your goal should not be heaven. If your goal is heaven, it's a stupid goal. And like Pastor Paul said, heaven cannot be at last. It is heaven at first. So let me answer the other one. God does not live in heaven. So I know you're going to ask me, where does he live? You are already asking. The Bible calls God the immortality that dwelleth on unapproachable light, which no man has seen nor will ever see. So if you say he lives in heaven, I have a question. But before I ask you my question, Genesis 1:1. Genesis 1:1. And I want everybody to read it me like a mass choir. Everybody, Genesis 1:1. 1, 2, go. In the beginning, God created. Now hold on. If there was a day when God created the heaven and the earth, are you catching the flow? So the question, so if there was a day when God created heaven and earth, where was he before that day? Anywhere he was, that is where he is, because he said, I am the Lord, I change it. So since God doesn't live in heaven, then God did not create heaven for himself. Heaven is created for man.
Now, Abel Damina tries to use Genesis 1:1 to prove that, God is not in heaven, because if God were to be in heaven, then where was he? And where he fails in his understanding is this, okay? There are many heavens, okay? The home of the birds is called heaven. The home of the sky is called heaven. And the third heaven, which is the abode of God. Now, if Abel Damina reads down in the book of Genesis, the Bible tells us that, the heaven is called the firmament. Now, with that understanding, we are going to look at God himself talking about heaven is his throne, and Jesus Christ talking about heaven is the throne of God. And we're going to say from the testimony of Stephen to show us that heaven is where God lives, so that you will be informed and you will be well educated on what the Bible teaches concerning this important truth. Now, let's look at the first one. In the book of Isaiah chapter 66 verse 1, the Bible says, thus saith the Lord. Now, every time you see a prophet saying thus saith the Lord, it is the authority, the message is authoritative, like this is God giving me the very word, and I'm saying thus saith the Lord, so that you will understand and believe my word. So thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye built unto me? And where is the place of my rest? So he's saying that, listen now, heaven is my throne. All right. Now, heaven is the abode of God, where God dwells, and that is the third heaven. Now, let's think about this. It can be anywhere at any time. And God is saying that this is where I place as my throne. This is my abode. Now, let's look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 34 through 35. But I say unto you,